2019. Suleymaniye Mosque was the largest complex, but in that year, the construction for the biggest mosque in Turkey was completed, ordered by the cabinet. And today we have a chance to see that specific mosque on the Asian side of Istanbul. Once we get there, I'm going to give you the details about Çamlıca Mosque. On the left side of the boat, up the hill, left side of the boat, up the hill, that's Galata Tower located. It was built in 14th century, ordered by Genoese people, and it was the watchtower for centuries. They were controlling the sea traffic, and the entrances were golden horn and the ships of theirs. All along Haliç, we can imagine ports and harbors back in the ancient times, and for the Ottomans. Here was the main trade hub for centuries for both empires. Here was the last stop for the Silk Road, so that's why it's important. And Galata Tower is in use as a museum today. And if you check right side of the boat, next to Galata Bridge, that is Eminönü Mosque, which was built in 17th century. It was ordered one of the queen mothers of the Ottoman Empire. And right side of Eminönü Mosque, we have one of the entrances of Spice Bazaar. And we'll be walking by Spice Bazaar to get to the restaurant. The mosque will be more clear if you check your right now. Right side of the boat, that's the mosque that I mentioned about, Eminönü Mosque. And if you check left side of the boat, Galata Tower can be seen clearly. And we just passed underneath Galata Bridge. On Haliç, we have 4 small beaches located, and we pass underneath Galata Bridge, which is famous with its local fishermen. Mostly retired people, elderly people, and the bridge itself became a social area for elderly people. They try to catch anchovy, sardine, and mackerel, mostly small fish species. And if you check right side of the boat, all the way up the hill, you have a chance to see Hagia Sophia, that magnificent structure still stands. Hagia Sophia was built in 6th century as a Byzantine cathedral. It was the patriarchate for millions of Orthodox people for centuries, and now it is a museum mosque. You can notify Hagia Sophia with its 4 minarets, 4 towers attached. And it's under restoration now. They started with the dome itself, which is the most critical part, and they're going to continue with the walls and the minarets, the towers of Hagia Sophia. You can see a crane right next to Hagia Sophia. The height of the dome of Hagia Sophia is 56 meters. And that means we can fit the Statue of Liberty without its base. Or it could be Pisa Tower can fit inside of Hagia Sophia. And for its closed areas, the capacity is 20,000 people can pray inside of that magnificent structure. That reddish building, the building which is under restoration, is Hagia Sophia, and left side of Hagia Sophia, which is on the point of historical peninsula, right side of the boat, we have Topkapı Palace. Topkapı Palace was built in 15th century, and it was used nearly 400 years by 24 Ottoman sultans. And Ottoman Empire ruled the lands, which was equal almost 39 country borders under today's conditions, from that specific palace. And then in 1920s, Turkish nation decided to change their ruling system by founding Türkiye Republic. And ladies and gentlemen, If you check the right side of Hagia Sophia, you have a chance to see another magnificent structure, which is Blue Mosque. We can identify Blue Mosque with its 6 minarets, 6 towers attached. It was built in early 17th century and ordered and commissioned by Sultan Ahmed I. Officially, it's called Sultan Ahmed Mosque. And the capacity for the structure is 10,000 people can pray inside. It's called blue by foreigners, by tourists, because of the tiles inside. If you ask any local where Blue Mosque is located, maybe 80%, 85% of them just wouldn't know what you're talking about. We call here as Sultan Ahmed Mosque, Sultan Ahmed Cami. And by the way, we have connected with the Sea of Marmara, with Bosphorus Strait. If we go straight ahead, we will be ended up in Black Sea. And if we go backwards, actually all the way to the right side, we will be ended up in Mediterranean Sea. Bosphorus Strait is the only channel that connects Black Sea with the whole world. So that's why every single day we can talk about more than 100 cargo ships pass through here. This is one of the critical straits, channels, all over the world. And it's the only division between Europe and the Asian continents for Istanbul. So this is the invisible border between Europe and Asia. And most people curious about the differences between two continents. Under today's conditions, nothing changes. Language, food, culture, wearing styles, everything stays the same. But back in the ancient times, since we have, or they were different kingdoms and nations, we can talk about huge traditions and differences. But especially with the conquest of Constantinople, done by the Ottomans, we became one. We have been communicating, and sharing with each other for centuries. That's why we became one. Left side of the boat, we are passing by Galata port. It is a shopping mall and a port at the same time. When a cruise ship docks here, I'm talking about huge ones, whole area becomes a borderline. They use barriers, they use hatches by the seaside to create that borderline, to create security, customs, and passport control. When there's no cruise ship here, they open those barriers, those hatches, so people can walk by the seaside. So people can enjoy with the view of Istanbul in one of those fancy restaurants. Here is the commercial side. Here is the first impression for cruise passengers. So that's why in 2019, whole area was renovated, and we can say that it's one of the most luxurious shopping malls we have in Istanbul. On the left side of the boat, there are two structures which look similar to each other, almost 100% same. It seems like that, but actually there were two different nations built by royal family of the Ottomans. And after centuries, to use these gorgeous buildings,